Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today to share with you a process video of a layout I created to lift Sara Scraps. She's another one of the Spiegelmom sparklers on the design team, and she and Christie and I decided we were each going to scrap lift each other. The other two shared their projects with you on Tuesday, and I'm sharing my lift of Sara's layout. I showed you that layout a little bit earlier, and it's a layout that came from her blog in November of last year, and she's got one main focal picture on the right hand side, a lot of really cool hearts with what looks like some texture paste on them, which is probably shimmers, and then the border on the top left. So I wanted to, and the other part of the challenges that we challenged each other was that we were going to use one of the new sequins collections, which is the Wild and Free collection. So like the other girls, I based my layout colors on the Wild and Free collection, which has some really great hot pink sort of fuchsia-y color, a teal-y, aqua-y color, some silver, and a lighter, paler kind of blue. So I went with more of the fuchsia and the aqua colors, and I pulled collections. And it's funny because I was looking through things, I found a baggie. I keep all of my collections upright in baggies, and I had put a lot of the recent pink paisley collections together, and so I ended up working mostly with C'est La Vie from Pink Paisley, but I also have, as you can see there, some of the stuff from another Spiegelmom Scraps project that I worked on using the Paige Evans Oh My Heart collection. So I see it looks like on Sara's layout that she has a bunch of vertical strips behind the picture. So I backed my picture just as Sara did, and then I start cutting up a bunch of vertical strips to place behind the picture. Sara used a similar color palette to what I used, or I used one similar to what Sara used, but she had some softer colors in there, and I decided to use a black and white picture. This picture, my daughter is wearing a red shirt, and it really wouldn't have matched, but she's holding one of those unicorn drinks from Starbucks, and I thought that the pink in the drink went really well with the colors that I wanted to use for the layout, and that's why I chose this picture. I typically choose my collections around my pictures. This time I chose my picture to go with the collections, really. I used my Photoshop to convert the whole picture to black and white, and then I brushed away the color in that unicorn drink. So here I am, I'm arranging the pattern papers for that top left, just as Sara has there. She has a lot of these, I'm not sure what they are, if they're chipboard, but she has a lot of hearts throughout her layout, and that's the consistent thing on her layout. I don't have anything like that, and while I could have made them with my silhouette, I just wanted lots of different embellishments. So I used the same placement of things, I just went a different direction with the placement of those things. So Sara had that striped piece on the right hand side of all those strips, and originally I had that striped piece on the left hand side of the picture, but I end up moving it to the right, as you can see there, because that striped piece from Oh My Heart is a lot darker, and I wanted the balance between the darker green on the right hand side of the picture and that Bellissimo, which is also green, in the top left. When the stripe was on the left hand side of the picture, it created more of a T, and you had a very narrow focus to that left hand side of the page. By moving that strip out to the outer edge of the picture, it made you look at the picture as well as all the stuff between Bellissimo and the weight on that top left, and then the weight on the bottom right. I What you don't see here that I showed earlier as I was chatting with you is that I used 6x6 paper pad pieces, and my picture is 6x4. So in order to get the strips to reach from the top to the bottom of the picture, I end up just cutting the strips so that you can see it at the top and see it at the bottom. And I used full strips, 12x12 strips, to line up those pieces. My ruler wasn't next to me, and that's what I had, and it worked just like a ruler for that same purpose. So I tore the bottom of Bellissimo off because I have a lot of straight going on here, and I wanted just a little bit of fluff per se. And it's not quite fluff, but a little bit more softness. That's a better word for it there. So those 3 butterflies are also from Spiegelmom Scraps. They are Cork Confetti. And the funny thing about this is that I actually lose one of them as I'm cleaning up. I guess I hadn't adhered it down, and literally 5 minutes ago I found that missing butterfly and ended up, so I don't think you'll see it in my final picture, but I do go back and put that butterfly back in afterwards. So I wanted a bit of pink on the, or not pink, but that fuchsia color on the outside of that green. It's very heavy, and it needed something to soften it up a little bit and pull it back into the fuchsia that's backing the picture. So I found some washi tape. I tried tearing it and had a really hard time, so you'll see that's where I end up pulling out the scissors to just give it a softer edge, and put that down to soften the edge of that green on that block there. What you don't see that I end up doing off camera after I look at this is, again, that edge of the marbled pattern paper from Pink Paisley on the left border of the picture is very hard, and I wanted something to soften that as well. So I do go in and put in a bit of green washi as well, because it was easy to tuck the washi in underneath. And I apologize that that is not in my final picture, but it is there in real life. So now I pull some of the ephemera packs from Pink Paisley that just happened to be in the bag of goodies that I chose, and look for where Sarah's got all those great, lovely mixed media hearts. I just look for bits and pieces to complement this picture. Where Sarah's got the cluster of hearts to the top left of the picture, I put that fun arrow from Simple Stories. And on the bottom right cluster of hearts, I've got that butterfly and the chipboard camera, again from Simple Stories. And I found a tag in these Pink Paisley goodies that I just cut the bottom off with the butterfly that also tucked in underneath under there. And now I'm looking for some things to go where Sarah's got the title that says Daddy's Girl. I wanted a few more embellishments to go where she's got those big hearts in there. So I've pulled one heart and a cork butterfly, and I knew I wanted to put the title in that same spot there. And I found crazy and fun, and that made me think this is a crazy fun treat. And so the other part of the title is going to be treat. And you'll see in a little bit that I had a hard time finding what color I wanted treat to be in. I start with these letters from Pink Paisley, and then I go to a whole bunch of other different thickers, some hot pink ones, some pink ones, and these I actually put down and pull off because while I like them, they're the wrong hue. These have more of a cool tone to them, whereas the papers that I've used are a little bit more warmer. So bye-bye, don't like those. And eventually I do end up going back to the Pink Paisley ones that I had. Initially I didn't like them because I didn't think that the lighter pink worked very well and the black was too black, but I do really like them now that I've got them on the paper. I wonder what you think. Did you like any of the ones that I pulled out before better than this, or does this work for you? Let me know what you think. So I had them sitting down too low. I liked the line created by the bottom of treat going along the bottom of the strips. So I shift that up, which also leaves me room for journaling, and I do journal afterwards. I've made a conscious effort lately to journal. So here's the Wild and Free. mix from Spiegelmom Scraps. This was the other part of our challenge to ourselves, and just as Sara has sequins scattered throughout her layout, I too decided to use sequins, and I went with this Wild and Free collection, which is what gave me the basis for the colors that I chose in this layout. So it's now just a matter of adhering everything down. I use my HEG, which is not my HEG, my Teresa Collins glue gun, to get all of the paper stuff down. And I do use liquid adhesive on these cardboard thickers. They lose their adhesive very quickly and leave a sticky mess behind. So rather than having that happen, I just decided to go ahead and glue them down. And then again, the Scotch glue in my fine line applicator to get all the sequins down. Sequins and I are not best of friends. I love sequins on my pages, but the glue gets stuck to my fingers and the sequins pulls off, and I really should use tweezers. I get too lazy. You can see I'm a bit of a tool minimalist. So there we go. That's the finished page. If you have any shopping you need to do, use the code Suzanna15 to save 15%. And here's a couple of close-ups. Thanks, Sara and Christie, for including me in this great challenge. It was fun to play along, and I hope everybody else enjoyed it as well. Thank you.